Today's October 28th, 2022. This is Revi. Revi has been having a little bit of trouble with his hindquarters, dragging his left toe. The rider is wondering if maybe he's had a slip and kind of strained something, so we thought we'd do a little bit of body work on him and see how he's feeling. We started out with his head, and he was very responsive. He enjoyed it a lot. He worked hard to help me give him a really good jaw massage, stretching out his tongue, and let me get in his mandible really nicely, and that started things off really terrific. Up in his complex, in his pole, it felt pretty good. A little bit tender on the right, but nothing that was alarming. And he responded very well to a nice deep tissue massage in there. Working through his neck, I was actually really impressed. His neck felt really, really good. He's a bit crested, but even the cresting felt nice and soft today, which is good because I know he's a little bit overweight, but it didn't really show as much as it has in the past in his neck. So through his cervical trapezoid and his rhomboid, he felt really fantastic all through there. Going down through his neck, everything felt really, really good, and he really enjoyed it. He enjoyed some nice deep stretching when we did that too. So he did well with it. He really, really enjoys having his biceps massaged as well. As I go through in between his front legs and his biceps, he tends to spread his front feet and really let me get deep in there. And he touches me a lot when I do that, so I know it's feeling terrific, and it's just something he really looks forward to, I think, when I'm doing it, because it gives him great pleasure. Going through his shoulders, he felt really, really nice on his left. His right shoulder was a bit stiff, and it was really tough to get in behind his scapula. He was really, really tight, and it took a long time for me to convince him that I could do it without too much effort on his part. Finally, he allowed it, and I was able to get in nice and deep, and it softened. So that was really great. And I have a feeling this side is it's causing problems in that hip, because I didn't find as much in the hip as I expected, but I found more in the shoulder than I expected. To me, he feels a bit swollen right in here. I'm trying to get a picture of it, right in these muscles in here. To me, it feels like there's fluid. There it is right there. It feels like there's fluid in there a little bit. So I'm wondering if he slipped in it with his front right and pulled something in there, and there's just a little bit of fluid laying on it. I guess it would be kind of in his, I'm trying to think where it would be, what you could call it, the infraspinatus muscle and the supraspinatus muscle, which is right in here. It just feels like it's sitting there. You can actually see it right here. And it just feels a bit poofy. So I worked a lot in there, and he actually responded in a pain response. He'd kind of pin his ears and look at me. I worked it a lot. He's also a bit sore down through his girth line, a little bit in his thoracic serratus, which is where the girth sits. He complained a bit there. So I think he is a bit sore, and I think it's this foot that actually may have slipped. It was this front right. So I did a lot of really deep tissue massaging there, and really, really good stretching. He liked the stretching. I think it made him feel a little bit better. So that was really terrific. So from there, we went into the withers. Withers felt good, a little bit sensitive on the right as well, which isn't a surprise because it's so close to the area that's irritated. So, again, nice deep massage there really helped. Going through all through his pectorals underneath felt really, really nice. He likes that. He really relaxes with that. He's kind of funny. He does yawn and chew, but he also does this little thing with his lip where he's almost looks like he's trying to talk. There it is. And he does a lot of that when I'm on muscles he enjoys. So as I went through his pecs there, he did a lot of that. It almost looks like he was telling a story. Very, very cute. His back felt actually very good. Down through his ribs and everywhere, it felt really terrific. I'm not too worried about any of that. It all felt nice and solid. Going up, I expected his lumbar was going to be hurting him, especially with the complaint that he's dragging that left hind toe. But his lumbar felt good, and he enjoyed it. He let me do a really extensive tail stretching with his lumbar, and he was really, really fantastic. So that was really nice to see. I was expecting problems there. As I went through his sacroiliac joint, his lumbosacral joint, hip joint, that all felt really quite nice. Felt solid. He had a little bit of a complaint on his left with his sacroiliac joint. And again, I think he's compensating from the shoulder with this left hip, and that's probably why he's dragging his toe. He did also have a little bit of banding and knots in this left hip. Pretty hard muscles. So this muscle's working hard. His hips are working hard to kind of balance himself and whatever, I think, again. So in through his glutes, which is this part of his hip, right in the edge of the glute, it's a little bit hard. It actually softened a ton. I spent a long time really working in there, and he didn't complain, so I think it felt good. Again, back feet stretching was fantastic. He was really good with it. A little bit stiffer on the left, and that's what I expected to see with the complaint we've had. So we did that. That was really good. His gelding scar, he was quite responsive with the gelding scar. It didn't feel bad to me, but he did act like it was sore. So I spent some time in there just really gently working through that scar area, and he seemed quite content with that once we were finished. When we were done all this, I brought him into the arena and I lunged him because I wanted to see if he's still dragging that back toe. And I didn't see it. I don't see that he's dragging it at all. He was really good. He seemed very eager to be responsive. He didn't favor. I couldn't see any lameness at all. So hopefully whatever was bothering him is feeling better now. So hopefully he's sound enough for continuing on into the weekend. And we're going to do some carrot stretches in a minute, which he loves because he is extremely food motivated. And I think he's been watching the carrots. He's been eyeballing them, so he's ready for that. But in general, I think he's doing really good. He should probably have the rest of today off for sure. I know that he's supposed to be going into a flat show tomorrow, and I don't see any problem with that. Just nice gentle warm-up would probably be a great idea, and go from there. So good luck with the show, and let me know if you have any questions, and I'll try to answer them for you. Have a great weekend.